for those around as long as Oatsma has been, I think that it's valid to note that Oatsma exists because it was the brainchild of the American Jewish community and UJA, and it has brought a whole generation of federation and communal professionals to help in the American Jewish community. So we owe this program, which flourishes, an enormous debt of gratitude for what it does and who they have turned out. It is really extraordinary, and I would like to introduce Brendan to tell you about it and himself.
Hello, everybody. Like Arlene said, my name is Lesky, and I'm a participant on Oatsma, which is a post-college Nassau service program that belongs to the Jewish Federations of North America and the Jewish Agency. I come from Midland, Texas, and while I have not had the government turmoil that Danielle has had, I do come from the home of George W. Bush and the home to only 50 Jewish families. While my Reform Temple had a very strong Jewish community for our size, there were usually only about 12 members in my Temple youth group, and we usually met about once a month for a meeting and activity. But unlike most big cities, I did not have a JCC or a place for us to hang out. My main Jewish community, where many of my best friends came from, was the Union for Reform Judaism Summer Camp, Green Family Camp. I attended Green for 16 years, and this is where I started to become connected with the land of Israel. Over the course of the years as a camper, I had a few Israeli counselors, but my most influential summer came when I was a third-year counselor. That summer, before my sophomore year at the University of Texas, Open Horns, I was paired with an Ethiopian from Israel, not to know. At the time, I was studying Hebrew in college, and we became best friends. I practiced my Hebrew with Nati and his English with me, and at the end of the summer, I made a promise to him. Once I graduated from my university, I would come live in Israel. At that point, I had never been to Israel, and graduation was still 2 years away, so I just tucked the idea in the back of my head. Later that December, my two best friends from Midland came up with the idea for us to go on Birthright together. We were all attending different universities, so we decided to go on Israel Outdoors, a Birthright program not tied to any school. While all of my forms were turned in on time, my friends forgot to turn in a few various papers, so I set off to Israel on my own. This could not have been better for me, because instead of concentrating on hanging out, I was able to concentrate on the country. While here for those quick 10 days, I specifically remember going to the Western Wall and on various hikes through the Galilee. At those places, I was able to sit and reflect and concentrate on what both Judaism meant to me and what the land of Israel meant. I realized at that time that both of them were very important to my past, present, and will be for my future. My last 2 years of college flew by, and when I started thinking about what my plan was for after graduation, the idea of living in Israel resurfaced in my head. My sister had just returned from Israel, so I talked with my family, and they thought living here was a great idea. While looking for programs, I had no clue what program I wanted to do, other than I just finished college, and I really didn't want to study anymore. My sister directed me to the Nassau website, and although I had no clue what program I wanted to do, I realized one thing: Nassau wanted me in Israel. Since I had just graduated college, my funds were limited, and my parents wanted me to support myself, so the grants I received from Nassau and my local federations have allowed me to be here in front of you today. I eventually selected Oatsma because it seemed like the best program, and it has been amazing. I chose Oatsma because it's a 10-month program based on building leadership qualities. Over the course of the year, Oatsma has given me the opportunity to gain knowledge about my Judaism, build my communication skills, and grow as a person. Just this past week, we met with Israelis our age to discuss issues regarding Israel and how to be better leaders within our respected community. Oatsma has also taken us on tours throughout Israel and has brought in speakers from all aspects of the Israeli society so we can feel Israel, our current and potential future home. Over the course of the program, I will live in 3 different cities and have many different opportunities to visit other communities. The length of the program has been great because I actually live in Israel. I go grocery shopping, I ride buses, I get pushed out of the way at the grocery stores, and I get to go out with many different Israelis. I've lived in Ashkelon, currently I live in Haifa, and in April I will live in Jerusalem. While in Ashkelon and Haifa, I've coached basketball, taught English, and worked at the zoo. The zoo's pretty cool. And when I live in Jerusalem, I will have the opportunity to hold an internship within the Jewish community, being able to share my experiences and ideas, and potentially further spur my desire to work within the Jewish community. I really have no immediate plan once I finish Otzma, but one thing is for sure, whether as a leader or with a profession, I will be involved with my Jewish community. This opportunity has allowed me to think about my Judaism and how I want to maintain my future home. Upon returning to the States, I will be establishing my own home, be joining a temple for myself, and deciding if my kids, hopefully in a few years, will be wearing kippot to the dinner table on the Sabbath. When I think about this program, both in the present and future, I know it has been a once-in-a-lifetime experience for me that I will carry for the rest of my life, and I want to thank all of you for allowing me the opportunity to live in Israel for a year and to share my story with you.